The first step towards getting somewhere is to decide where you're going. My name is Kamryn W, and myself and my partners, Josh Schaefer, Jake Lukasiewicz, and Raeann F are here to help you make the decision. We are the expansion gurus, and we're going to show you the way. Maple Leaf Inc. is facing a tough decision on where they should build their new factory abroad to reduce costs of production. The three countries to choose from are Chile, Libya, or Macau. To begin the analysis of the three countries, we started with the pestle. The pestle analysis is a tool to address external factors that have potential to affect the organization. First, we will look at the political climate of all three countries. Some important things to address about these countries is the corruption level, type of government, business freedom, and social unrest. Chile is the least corrupt country of the three, receiving a score of 67 out of 100. Libya is the most corrupt, receiving a score of only 17. Macau is also more corrupt, receiving a score of 26 out of 100. When it comes to business freedom, Chile is the freest, then Macau, and then Libya is the least free. All the countries are facing some form of social unrest. In Chile, protesters are frustrated with how the country is governed, with some demanding the president resigns. In Libya, there is a large conflict right now between the new government and old. Libya used to be a theocratic dictatorship, but after a huge civil war, the UN has stepped in to try and rebuild a democracy. This is causing many attacks from the Islamic State. This could be a potential danger to businesses entering the country, as they could be a target by the Islamic State and have individuals fear working for them. Macau is facing current protests about labor rights and bribery of government officials, which contributes to their lowest corruption score. Another important factor is the economy of a country. To dig deeper into the economy, we're going to look at GDP per capita, unemployment rate, and economic growth. Macau has the highest GDP per capita, which means it does have the biggest economy, but this could be bad because this will mean most of the population is actually wealthier and wouldn't really want to work for a factory probably and make lower wages. Libya has the lowest GDP per capita, which also could not be good because it means a smaller economy and likely means that they're living in poverty. Chile is right in the middle, which means that there will be some people that will want to work at this factory, so it is the most preferable GDP per capita. Libya has the highest unemployment rate, which also is not very good because this can mean an undereducated society and will result in higher training costs. When it comes to economic growth, Libya does have the highest percentage, but this is just because they're already at the bottom that the only way to go is up, even though up isn't really good. Even though Chile's and Macau's are lower economic growth rates, they're still positive, and this is a really good sign of a good place that we'd want to do business, especially because they already do have a good economy. As well, we did just want to touch on minimum wage and the Canadian dollar equivalent, just so you could see how much that you would be paying one individual per month if you were paying them at the lowest rate. The next thing to address is social aspects. Chile has the largest population, which means many people could potentially work for you. Chile also has a religion most similar to one of Canada's more dominant religions, which would mean similar cultures and values. Chile is also the only country to have English as a dominant language, which would be good when expanding because it means less translating costs. When it comes to the Human Development Index, Macau is the highest ranking at 5th in the world. Chile is ranked at 44th, and Libya is ranked at 108th with very poor quality living standards. Both Chile and Libya are members of the UN, which is important for a Canadian company to consider because that means there is an additional governing body who can monitor trade, foreign business policies, and as well as the government. When it comes to the environment, the most concerning thing is the occurrence of natural disasters. All countries have potential to face disasters, but Chile is the most prone out of these three countries to face a natural disaster, which could result in high insurance costs for Maple Leaf Inc., and especially high recovery costs if there is an accident. In terms of technology, the three countries do all have access to tech, but Libya is the only one where majority would not actually have access to the most technology. Macau is the most innovative, but Chile is also high up there. However, Libya is not too concerned with being technologically innovative just because they are in a state of war and they're adjusting to so much that their main goal is just to retain the technology that they do have. In terms of legal analysis, I just want to touch on property protection rights, similarity of Canadian laws, and as well as these other countries' health and safety laws, and these countries' judicial effectiveness. Chile and Macau both have very high property protection rights, whereas Libya is almost non-existent, which is not good for a business. Chile also has the most similar employment and health and safety laws to Canada, which is good because it means that we already know the laws and it's going to hold us accountable at a high level that we're already used to. When it comes to judicial effectiveness, Macau does have the highest at 60 out of 100, then Chile with 56.3, and then Libya with 24.4. However, Canada's actually ranking is only in the high 60s as well, so judicial effectiveness in Chile and Macau are very good. We also chose to do the Hofstede analysis to analyze cultural similarities of these countries to Canada. It is important to note that these numbers for Macau are actually from Hong Kong because Macau is not available as they are not members of the United Nations. When it comes to similarities, Chile would be the most similar overall to Canada. Once again, our alternatives are Chile, Libya, and Macau. This chart here just shows economic freedom of the three countries compared to Canada. Libya has no ranking just because they have no reliable information coming out of their country anymore. Macau is ranked 35th in the world for economic freedom. Chile is ranked 18th in the world, and Canada is ranked number 1. As you can see here, Chile would be the most similar to Canada and as well as the highest of the three countries. To make our final decision about which country to expand in, we picked our 7 most important criteria and then gave all the countries a ranking out of 3, 3 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. And based on our analysis, Chile received the highest overall score and therefore is the country we choose to implement. We choose to expand in Chile just because they have the highest score and as well as the fact that they are the most overall similar to Canada and Hofstede analysis and as well as economic freedoms. We would also recommend for the company to expand into one of the following 3 regions of Chile based on the fact that these 3 regions are known for their manufacturing, have really good population sizes, and are decently educated but not overly so they won't want better jobs. To evaluate, there are some benefits and some risks to expanding. Benefits include economic stability, predicted economic growth, and as well as avoiding human rights criticism violations. Risks would include having to pay more potentially because of the technological gap and as well as the potential for natural disasters. In conclusion, if you want to reduce your costs but still have a good brand image, then the place for you to go is Chile.